Hi, my name is Cheryl. I'm a consultant here at Life's Memories and More. And today I'm going to show you some baptism scrapbooking ideas. Now, baptism paper sometimes is really hard to find. You can usually find the stickers, but the paper itself is hard. So I'm going to show you how to make your own paper using alcohol inks. So what you need when you're using the alcohol inks, it's really good, is a glossy paper. Now, glossy paper can come in white, sometimes you get it in black. I'm going to use white 8x8 glossy paper. I've got 3 blue alcohol inks and 1 silver mixative. I've got some alcohol blending solution. I've got the felt cloths that go right on top of your applicator. And then I'm going to actually add on a combing effect to make a cross. And here you can see the parts of a cross I'm going to show you how to make. And you're going to need some glue, a Zot, a tape runner, the quilling paper, and a comb. Now, if you don't have a quilling comb, sometimes you can actually use a hair pick too, and that can be worked as well. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is actually make the page. And there's actually a couple of techniques. There's 2 techniques that are here. One technique, which is very messy, and I end up with blue hands all over the place, is I actually take drops of each color and I put them on my craft mat. Now, craft mats are wonderful because they wipe right off. They stay nice and clean. So I put like a couple of dots of either one of all these colors, and then I use some of the silver mixative as well. I would then put the blending solution on it, make a nice big puddle, and then I would take my piece of glossy paper, turn it down, and swoosh it all around. That's one technique. It can be a little messy, so I'm going to show you something that's a little less messy. With this particular technique, you're going to get this kind of an effect. And what you're going to do is you're going to actually take your alcohol inks, and you're just simply going to put a couple of spots on the felt applicator of each color. And you may want a little bit more of one color, a little bit less of another, but that's entirely up to you. And I don't usually have to shake up the alcohol inks, but you do have to shake up a mixative like silver or gold. And you can kind of hear the little ball rattling inside. And you've got to kind of really make sure it's shaking up really good. And make sure the cover's on because you don't want to get something like this in your eye. And once you're sure that you're shaking it up, you're going to take it and you're just going to add a couple of more dots of the silver. And now you can see it's just kind of like a bunch of dots on here. So what we take now is the blending solution. And the blending solution, you're just going to squirt it all over. So now you're getting it actually blend in there. Then you take your applicator, and all you're going to do is you're just going to dab it. And you can swirl it, if you want to add a little swirls here and there. And you're going to go over the entire page. And you'll see how you can actually pick up the colors that you want. And for baptism, it's kind of good to stay with the blue because you think of the water when you're being baptized. So you kind of stamp it all over and just go over as much as you want. And if it feels like this is drying up, add a little more blending solution to it. So now we've got this nice page over here with different, and again, you can swirl it. If you want to swirl, mix it up a little bit. Okay? So now we've got a nice bottom page layout for this. And we can take our photo and add our photo to it. And then we can take our title. On this title, I left the backing on it. It's actually a sticker. And I like to leave backings on stickers sometimes, especially if I want to elevate them with foam squares or something like that. So what I did here was I already pierced a hole in for one of the brads. I'm going to pierce the hole for the other brad, just to give it a little bit extra look because it had the things there. So I'm just going to make it dimensional. Okay, and now you're going to you can use Zots or you can use foam squares, either one. I actually prefer sometimes the foam squares to give it more height, but this I'm just going to actually give it a little bit, just make it stick on. And there's my title for my baptism. And now the other effect I'm going to add is this actual combing technique. Now with combing, you're going to take your quilling paper and you make a little loop and you just glue it with a little loop. And then you bring the paper down and then you bring it up on one side and down on the other. Up to the top and then down on the other. And you keep doing this. Now you can actually skip some of your rows. You don't have to go every one. You may want to go every other one. All right, and then when you're done, you want to end up at the top. And if you're somewhere in the middle, like your paper runs out as you're doing this, you want to make sure that you end up at the top with a little bit of glue and then add another strip if you need it and continue until you're actually done with your project. But what you'll end up with actually is, and I've done 3 of the same size and 1 a little bit longer. And then all you need to do is you can add a little bit of glue down here, and you just put the cross. Okay, and you can use adhesive, you can use the Zotz, whatever you prefer as your adhesive, as long as you think it's going to stay down. Okay, and that's going to come off the page a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to do this. And then for the middle, there's actually a couple of options that you can use. There are die cuts, there are stickers that you could put in the middle. You can actually make, if you're into quilling, you can actually make a beautiful flower, and that's kind of what I did right here. Okay, but you could use the flower in the middle if you would like, or you could take the die cut and decorate it and stick it in the middle. But for this, I think I'm just going to take one of my stickers, and I'm just going to stick it right in the middle.